Joining us once again is Dr. Christy, and Dr. Christy was one of our original correspondents 15 years ago. Dr. Christy, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Donna. It's such a pleasure to be back.
When you were first on the show, we were making like healthy snacks together, and you were talking about wellness. And your journey since you were first a correspondent on the show has just continued to blossom and grow. You are now a master gardener. You've done so many things. And I wanted to have you on just so that we could reconnect because I love you and respect you, and you're amazing. But I want to know for our audience, how did the gardening for you start?
It all came out. I went on sabbatical from private practice, and it was my intention just to do it for a year. And I realized that gardening is in my bones. I actually grew up in Minnesota. Both my mom and dad grew up on dairy farms, and I didn't realize, but I just love to feed people, Donna. I love to feed people good food. I also love to feed people knowledge. That makes a difference in their lives. And I realized that it's really meaningful. I was on one end of natural medicine, helping people to reclaim and regain their health. But now it's so joyful to help people actually like grow health, be able to nourish themselves and create healthy habits and to be able to grow really nutritious food.
We were able to spend a little quality time together as friends, and you you brought a Vitamix and all the things that needed to good nutritious food, and it's exactly what I needed as a friend. I was going through some trauma, and you showed up on another friend's doorstep, and we just celebrated life together. We were talking about nutrition. We were talking about perma plants. Can you describe what are perma plants?
Yeah, they're plants that live for many seasons. So my whole goal is to make gardening as simple as possible. I think, like many people, I got really excited about homesteading, and then the reality of hit, and I was like, this is way more work than me or my back are interested in doing, right? And so, what I'm really passionate about is finding the easiest way to grow food. And so, kind of my motto is plant once, eat forever. And that's what permaplants are about. So, for every annual veggie or plant that you might grow, there's often a perennial alternative that will grow for many years. And so, because perennial is a word that's not real common, I use the word permac because it becomes a permanent plant in your garden. So it just makes it so much easier.
That is really easy. And now you have this great logo, this little cute gnome about perma gardening and perma plants, and he's just like sweet and joyful, just like you, just like your personality. So perma veggies means that you plant once and you eat forever. What are the five, like if somebody could only start with five veggies to start with, what would you recommend? Is like bok choy one of them? I'm just like going off the top of my head. I don't even know.
No,
So what are some?
this is so fun. And we didn't even plan this, but I was
No.
hoping you'd ask a question like this
Okay.
because I actually have a few of them here that I wanted to show you. And so this might be the perfect time. So
Okay.
one
What
of
do we
my
got?
favorites is actually perma carrots. I call it perma carrots. So one of the challenges I found in finding perennial veggies is that many of them are grown outside the United States, and they have really funny names. Like you would never guess that a plant called skirret is actually the sweetest root vegetable that tastes like the sweetest carrot you've ever
Oh,
eaten. It's like
yummy.
they are
What's up, Doc?
so delicious.
Okay, so
So,
that's called
so
skirret.
skirret, which I call perma carrot, so it's
Okay.
simple. I also really love runner beans, so I call these perma beans. And let me see if I can
Okay.
show you.
Oh, I see. Oh, those are
These
nice. Now those are
beautiful.
hard and dry. Do you soak those? Is that the first step?
You can eat them like a dried bean, but you can also eat the flowers are edible. You can throw them into salads. The when they're young pods, you can eat them just like you would a green bean, and then you can dry them and you can eat them like you would like a kidney bean or a savory bean. So they're so easy to grow, and in many growing zones, they'll come back year after year. So perma beans would be another one.
Lovely. And that's why you don't
I
age, Christy. You look exactly like you did when you first came on the show 15 years ago.
Oh,
She eats her
may it be
veggies.
so.
No.
Here's another one of my favorites. It has a funny name. It's called Rocket, and it's grown all over in Europe.
Oh, I see
And
that. That's pretty.
it tastes like a beautiful arugula. And so it's like
Okay.
an arugula. I call it perma arugula, and it just keeps going year after year. So you just have endless arugula. And the last one I have to share with you is
Oh, that's
so
pretty.
beautiful.
Wow.
This one I always keep kind of like a bouquet on my counter. I don't know if you can see this, but
Yes.
I pick these in the morning, and then I have greens that I can put in my salads, in my stir fries, in my smoothies. It's so easy. And this is I have perma kales and perma collards, and so that's what these are. So
Okay. Now,
those
what's
are
the
kind of
difference between a kale and a collard? Are they cousins? Are they like neighbors? Like,
they
what's the
are.
okay.
They actually come from the same mother plant, and we select for different types of leaves or flavors or textures. So really a collard is oftentimes a little bit thicker of a leaf and a little broader, and a
Okay.
kale is sometimes a little thinner of a leaf, but they're related.
I like making kale chips in my like toaster oven. You could like make them crunchy, and it's a good
Yes.
alternative to potato chips. Did you know I did that? I like kale
I love
chips.
that. That's such a great way to sneak in some like extra greens and have it taste like a snack, right?
Right. Yes, I'm a big snack food girl. So you have this beautiful nursery. You have gardens and acreage and things like that. You also wrote a book, and you've made it very simple for people to be able to say, okay, just like we're doing here, just teach me the basics, right? So tell me
Yeah.
about your book, your Perma Garden book.
Well, it's the first of hopefully a series of books. And
Okay.
Donna, it really is the book I wish I had when I first started homesteading. I had no idea, honestly, what what I was doing. And so over the course of the last 9 years, as I've been collecting all of these perennial plants, I really had to learn how to grow them, how to harvest them, and then how do you turn that into meals? Like what recipes to actually be able to enjoy? Because what's the point of growing it if you don't actually incorporate it into your family's meals? And so my book is called Perma Veggies, and I decided to make it free of charge. It's really at this point in my life, such a joy to be able to share. My little nursery is just a natural overflow of now my gardens are so established that rather than hucking things in the compost bin, it's really joyful to be able to share plants and seeds with people. And so my daughter helps me in the nursery, and it's just such a joy because I really wish for people to make gardening really accessible and easy, and hopefully that's one step my book can help.
That's extremely generous and so gracious of you, to be able to share that book for free. So we're going to have the website up, and I guess, people will be able to get it there, right? They can request a
Yeah.
download of it and things like that. You'll make it available,
Yeah.
which is amazing. You had also sent us a wonderful video, and we're going to, after the end of this segment, we're going to definitely play that as well, which actually shows you in this beautiful, massive, like gorgeous garden, the garden of, your perma garden, and it's economical also. Like if you're able to, like you said, plant once, eat forever, that's important, to be able to like nourish our
Yeah.
body and our mind and our soul. And you have recipes, which is always so fun. And I know that you'd answer any questions. Can I brag about you for one other little second? Can
Sure,
I
that's
brag?
always
Okay.
fun.
Can I brag about you and what it is that you're doing in the state of California? Can we talk about that too before we wrap up? How are you helping
For
people
sure.
with what you call, is it scions? What is it that you're helping people with? Like your gardening group that you're helping all the master fruit growers or something, I don't know, but it's cool.
Yeah, so right now I am the chair of the Monterey Bay chapter of the California Rare Fruit Growers. And what we are is we are a nonprofit. We have chapters all over California and even some outside of California. And the idea is how can we support each other in being able to expand fruit varieties? And for me, my particular passion is how do we grow the most nutrient dense fruit varieties? Same thing with these perma veggies. The advantages of being able to grow perennial plants, and all fruit trees are also perennial, is that they're more drought tolerant, They are way less work, and they often have more nutrients, more vitamins and minerals because they have deeper roots. And so the idea is that you can graft. So one of the big things we do at the California Rare Fruit Growers is we have an annual scion exchange. And what it is we all take little branch cuttings, they're called scions, of our favorite varieties of fruit trees, and then we freely share them with each other. And then you can graft it onto that little branch onto your any matching fruit tree. So let's say an apple on an apple or a peach on a peach. And then that branch will forever grow that new variety. And so it's this beautiful way that we can help to expand the genetics and just the nutrients that we are able to offer, but we can also really easily create trees for community gardens, for school gardens, for these types of things. So that's where there's really a beautiful crossover as well with what I'm doing personally, because that's also one of my wishes for Perma Gardens is just to make gardening so much easier, so that if you have a big space, but also if you just have a tiny little balcony, there's a lot of food that you can grow with very little work. And so that's my goal, is to really make it accessible for people.
And your nursery, you do ship some of the actual things, right? Is it seeds or
Yeah.
plantings? What is it that you're able
Yeah.
to, if somebody just wants to start?
Yeah, so we share. So we sell seeds. We also offer cuttings of some of our plants. We offer, some of them grow by roots, and so we have different plant sales throughout the year. It really is, honestly, it's just an extension of my daily life, of our family's homestead, and so. Of course, we grow everything organically and with lots of love, but it's really about just sharing that abundance. And my hope is that my efforts in my homestead can make easier lifting for lots of people on their own homesteads. And just to really help, I like to say that if we are what we eat, I really want to eat these smart, adaptable, perennial plants, because they are so much more intelligent and more resilient. And I want that energy in my body.
Ah, me too. Can I just get on a plane and come see you right this minute?
Oh, I love you. You are always welcome, Donna.
I love you too. It's been wonderful. It's been a wonderful journey with you since the beginning of this show and through all these years. And I thank you, because I just wanted to have you on and celebrate you, because you're making a difference in the world, and you're one of my favorite, truly one of my favorite beings. So thank you for
Likewise.
spending
And
some
I
time
just
with
want to
us.
My pleasure. And I also just want to acknowledge back to you. You are one of the people I can always count on, you and your show, to just shine some positivity in the world. And that is so precious, Donna. So it's really an honor to be your friend and to be back here on the show with you.
Thank you so much. Wow. Woo, touch me. You got me, girl. You got me. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Oh my gosh. So please go to Dr. Christie's website. We love to share all of this information with you. And her book is free. It's Perma Veggies. It's a free book. You can download it today. And she'll also be there, to answer some questions. You want to start this in your own community? This is a great place for you to start. Thanks for watching.
The dream was to move to the country and find a piece of land and grow a significant amount of my family's food and medicine. And so I strapped every possible gardening tool I could to my belt, and I bought a ridiculous amount of seeds, and I was off to the races. And the truth was, it was way harder than I ever imagined. I was living my dream, but I really wasn't having a lot of fun. I just really wanted to be able to reclaim this dream. I wasn't ready to give up. And so I started looking for, okay, what is an easier way to accomplish this? And that's how I started diving down the rabbit hole of perennial plants. Annual plants are the ones that we're most familiar with. Our tomatoes and our peppers and corn and beans. Annuals are things that grow quickly in one season. They'll put on seed and then they'll die. So you have to plant them every year. perennials are different. Perennials are kind of like the marathon runners of the garden. So you plant them once and they're a little slower to start, but they produce season after season. All these yarrow seeds look like they're perfectly ripe. Let's go ahead and grab these. Perennial plants are advantageous in so many ways. The first most important thing is they're less work. It's just so much more fun in the garden when you kind of set it and forget it. They're drought tolerant. They have much deeper root systems than their annual counterparts, and so they're able to reach for water and minerals that annual plants simply can't reach. They're incredible at attracting pollinators. They flower at different times of year than annuals, and so they bring in bees, they bring in insects, and more bees equals more food for us. When annual plants have given up the ghost and died, perennial plants really shine because many of them actually give you food year-round. They help you save money, so you can water them less. They have deeper roots, so you don't have to fertilize them as much. They can mine for minerals, and you only have to plant them once. So many of them live for many, many seasons, and you can always propagate and keep them going. So they end up really saving you a lot of money in the long run. They're also really great for climate change. So they're kind of weather resilient rock stars. And so many of them, you can just cut them to the ground and they'll be able to bounce back. And so these are incredible plants to have, especially with all the climate change and severe weather patterns coming through. Perennial plants are able to resist these types of challenges. And my favorite advantage of perennial vegetables is actually their wild adaptability. So they have developed this capacity to be able to survive season to season. And the way they do that is by being able to adapt to situations around them. They're resilient. And so when we eat these plants, we're not just eating that amazing nutrition that they pull up from their deeper root systems, we're also taking in this energy of adaptability, of resilience. And so if we are what we eat, I want to eat smart, resilient, perennial plants. Perennial plants are such great teachers for me. They teach me so many lessons. It really is my green temple when I step into the garden. They remind me to rest, that I can't bloom all the time. They remind me that I'm part of something bigger, of this intelligent design. I see the dance of the rain falling on the earth, and I see the plants soaking up the sun. And I just am reminded of this beautiful give and take, that we are a part of this cycle and this amazing abundance. There's nowhere I feel more abundant than when I'm in my garden. And it's such a joy to be able to share this natural overflow with people around me, because that way we can all become gardeners. And we grow a lot more than plants as we do this. We're growing love, we're growing understanding, we're growing community that can bloom year after year.